Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bethel Park Community Update. Thanks for attending. Hope you're well. My name is Brian Schill, and I'm the Executive Director for the Peters Township Chamber of Commerce, and facilitating with me today is our Operations Coordinator, Kelly Keene. Say hello, Kel.
Good morning, everybody.
First, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Washington Financial Bank. We cannot do what we do without our sponsors. And Washington Financial has graciously underwritten all of our community updates, and we truly appreciate their support. And today we have Ryan Bates representing them. Ryan, would you mind saying a few words?
I'd be glad to, Brian. Thanks. I just want to quickly say how much I've enjoyed the presentations these last couple of days, and I hope that you all have too. A big thank you to the Chamber, to Brian and to Kelly for organizing and moderating these sessions for us. You guys have really done a great job. So on behalf of everybody here at the bank, thank you for the opportunity to sponsor the series this week. We're honored to have been asked, and we're more than glad to help. Truly we are. So with that, I hope that you everybody was able to join us Tuesday and yesterday. If you did, then like us, you're all caught up on what's happening in Peters Township and in North Strabane, and we look forward to hearing from Lawrence on what's going on in Bethel Park. So welcome, everyone.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. So joining us today for the Bethel Park Community Update, we have the Municipal Manager, Mr. Lawrence Christian. Good morning, Mr. Christian.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
I am doing excellent. How about you?
Tell you what, if I was any better, it might be you.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, everybody. So we just a couple notes for a little Zoom 101. We are being recorded, so this will be available on our YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure, and we will get that out through all the communication channels. So feel free to take a peek, or let folks that couldn't make it know that it's here and available. So one thing I would like to bring up is if you have a question, we would ask that you please use the Q&A button rather than the chat button today. So, all right, Mr. Christian, take it away, sir.
Thank you so much, Brian. First and foremost, I want to thank you and Kelly. This is amazing. We were so gracious to host these events, and we truly appreciate it. And we want to thank Washington National Bank and Ryan for really kind of hosting these things and sponsoring them. They truly help us connect with the residents and the businesses and provide these, any and all updates. And for that, we were eternally grateful. So truly, from that aspect of it, I mean, these are difficult times. I mean, we're pulling out of 2020 of a worldwide pandemic. But what's funny is, in times of crisis and times of need, you can see the good nature and the good heart of the residents and the businesses as they rally. And here in Bethel, I'm sure as elsewhere across the United States, they have rallied to the likes of which I've never seen before. And I've lived all over the world and all over the country, and it is truly amazing. And most of all, it's humbling. It's truly humbling to see your residents and your businesses at work. So for that one, we will eternally be grateful for them. And now, if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. I got a little bit of a presentation just to kind of some talking points for everyone. So please bear with my technical lack of acumen here. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. If you don't mind, I'll just jump right into it. There's a lot going on in Bethel right now. As we speak here on this community update, we're in the deliberate planning process to handle some, we're looking at partnering with some local pharmacies to work on our vaccinations. I know that's in the forefront of everyone's mind. We're trying to get a large-scale vaccinations. I think the long pole in a tent really is the lack of the actual vaccinations itself. But again, Bethel Park's trying to work hard to try and bring that one to the forefront. So please understand, we don't have a lot of specifics right now, but we are diligently working on that one. So my computer here, there we go. So it was a very long year in 2020. So when this pandemic kicked off, really the restrictions put us in a place we don't think we'd ever been before. what do you do with portions of the local government that really you can't do programming at a community center and different aspects of it? Well, you find the need and you jump into the need where it was greatest. And our fellow residents, both in Bethel and in the South Hills, there were large-scale layoffs that were going on, and they needed help. So as a facilitator of local government, I mean, we immediately jumped in there and started a multi-month resident-supported food drive. Pulled this off right there within our community center. Took a lot of our community center help and attendants, got them retrained following all COVID protocols, and did a multi-month, every single day, 5 days a week food drive. I really couldn't tell you how much food was taken in and distributed to our partners. I think on the right hand slide, you can see all of our partners right there. I mean, everything from, we were at Bethel, St. Clair, Meals on Wheels. We had South Hill Assembly of God, SHIM, Red Door Ministries. That was downtown Pittsburgh, Operation Troop Appreciation. I just remember one specific instance. I was talking to one of our partners, and this one hit me hard. There was a recently discharged soldier that Operation Troop Appreciation was helping out, and he only had dog food to eat. So that was kind of an impetus right there, where you just kind of bring out all the stops, and you're like, we need to help. And luckily, we are graced and positioned where we can help. And so that's what we did. We partnered with the Greater Community Pittsburgh Food Bank and also our local SHIM, which is South Hills Interfaith Movement. We did 3 large-scale food drives, one that saw over 1,000 cars and 2 more that saw over 500 cars events. These were drive-through events that we held in and around Bethel, one at the Simon Mall properties and 2 at our local high school. Simultaneously, we did a mask drive. It started off to be just our first responders for our Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company, and then grew. I mean, we call them our sewing warriors, and those were the folks that sat at home during the initial stages of the pandemic when everybody was locked down, and they just sewed day in and day out, and hundreds of masks were you can see some of the pictures there, brought in at our, along with the food drive to our community center. And once we met all requirements for our, volunteer fire company and different aspects of the local government, then we started distributing to our seniors, our shut-in population. And that really kind of set the tone for the next several months. So if you can just imagine, folks all across Bethel Park just, sewing to their heart's content, that was it. It really was a giving nature. Simultaneously, we had some of the local blood banks, Vitalant and Red Cross, reach out to us, and they were like, we were getting critically short on blood supplies. Turned right around, repurposed some of our buildings and brought in, COVID-safe blood drives. And we've been running 2 a month since April of 2020, and this is still going on, both in here in the municipal building, at the community center, some of our local partners at some of the nonprofits. That's still going on. We retooled our entire website to have a COVID resource webpage. We started a manned action line for people to call in, residents that had COVID-19 questions. We did multiple Facebook Live and BPTV COVID-19 presentations to kind of better educate our residents and kind of calm fears. In order to kind of help with this, and as we move forward, I had the opportunity to talk with Brian and Kelly earlier and let them know, like, we developed a communications team led by our public relations director. We brought on a social media marketing coordinator and different aspects within the municipal staff, and created a holistic communications team. And that has enabled us to better connect with our residents, in social media, our website, email, through our Bethel Park Chronicles, news releases, news articles, and just, flyers with information. It's been amazing, the outpouring of information and the response back from our residents and our businesses. It's been so hopeful that if you can see what people do in times of need, they will rise to the occasion. And we are so grateful for our residents and businesses here in Bethel, because they did rise every single day for all of 2020, and they're still doing it here in 2021. if you don't mind, I'll go to, if there are any questions we can answer. 'Cause I got about 6 slides, but I've known in the past that if you hold off a question, sometimes it becomes less relevant if you go on to a different subject. We have one question. Is there any update on the commercial property at the intersection of McMurray Road and South Park Road? There is no update right now. That particular property, the commercial property located right there, there is a current, I can't talk about it too much. There's some litigation going on with that particular property. But right now there is a heavy equipment machinery being removed from the property. And that's really about as much as we can talk about. There is no permits or development ongoing that we know about. So I hope that answered the question. And now we'll move over to the next slide. Again, with pandemics and things such as this, you got to figure out how to still keep your residents and your businesses connected and still moving forward. You can't just shut down everyone and expect them to prosper and flourish. So how do you do this? Well, you try to think a little bit outside of your normal thought process and come up with some new ways to keep your residents and your businesses safe. We focused a lot of efforts on our farmers market. And I think it showed. We were voted one of the top 3 farmers market in all of Pittsburgh for 2020. That was a huge endeavor on our part to make sure that we could still have those things in an outside environment where it's safe. And that was huge. We had about 800 people attendance every week on average. 32 vendors. It was all safe, social distances, and that aspect of it, that farmers market. We're partnering with some of our local public-private partnerships to kind of take that thing to the next level. So please stay tuned for our farmers market. It's going to get better for 2021. How do you share goodwill? How do you connect your residents when everybody's telling them to stay apart, to stay socially distant? You have to figure out ways. So we here in Bethel, we looked at a couple of different parades. Early on, we had a very small one for Easter. These were just municipally planned events that we were bringing partners, included our emergency vehicles, public works, ambulances, antique classic cars. And it really helped out just bring some goodwill to our neighbors and our residents and our businesses. The outpouring was amazing, absolutely amazing. And that let us know that our residents are still there. They still want to have some type of normalcy. And this was just a small semblance of how they could be normal again. So that was super important for us. If you might have seen our signature pumpkins all over Bethel Park, that marked our parade route for our Halloween Spooktacular Parade. That was 2 separate parades, one for the north part of the municipality, one for the southern part of the municipality, with each had about 40 different cars and antique vehicles and things of that nature, some classic cars, and we had our emergency vehicles. We partnered with some local entities, raised some money, bought a lot of candy, to the tune of our back of our salt trucks were filled with candy. And then 3/4 of the way through both parades, we ran out. So lesson learned, buy extra. And I don't think we truly understood the level of participation from our residents. And as you drive through the streets, everybody was in front of their houses or in their neighborhoods, but they were socially distant, but together as a family. And that truly was amazing. The outreach and feedback we got, like I said, was I can't even explain it. It was so great. But as you noticed, there were other aspects of it, and it was a rough year, both with a worldwide pandemic, a very contentious national election, and from our perspective, we wanted to recognize those that were going above and beyond, to remember that we're all human, we're all friends, we're all neighbors. It's better to be kind to one another. So our communication team came up with a great project to recognize just small acts of kindness. and that was recognized by our mayor and our council. And then, we would post that one on our social media platforms. Some of our local businesses, EV Hardware, donated chalk for the kids to, have a chalk contest. So they would chalk their sidewalks or chalk some of the senior living centers, bring out that goodwill. And it was just amazing to see that one unfold. It was one of the things that's not listed here was, some of the small accomplishments. In the middle of a pandemic, we coordinated with and helped facilitate the closure of 40 acres green space in the north part of Bethel Park that will forever be green space. It can never be developed. And we're turning that into hiking trails and in concert with Allegheny Land Trust. But I mean, that is a jewel in Bethel Park that will never go away. But it's the small things like that the staff at Bethel Park and our partners were able to do over the many months during the middle of a pandemic. It was just amazing, and I've said it a couple of times, truly humbling just to be a part of. To continue to connect with our residents, because you can't connect with them in person. We touched off our Live Well series. We didn't cancel it. We just made it virtual. So we did multiple COVID-19 series, various lifestyle topics, and had great turnout. We were having better turnout virtually than we were in person. And I think that may be one of the aspects moving forward. It was just truly amazing to see that type of connection just through a computer. And our folks were doing it from their living rooms. And you really couldn't tell that one, but everybody was socially distanced in different locations. So that was truly helpful on that one. We had those series went from April 20th to January 21st so far, and we're going to continue moving forward in 21 with other different Live Well series virtual connections. So were there any questions on this one? I don't think we can stop real quick for a quick Q&A for these so far.
I have a question, Mr. Christian.
Sure.
At this point, are we planning on doing the Memorial Day parade?
The Memorial Day parade. And that is a great question. The municipal staff has turned on their planning caps, and we are in full-scale planning for a full suite of all of our normal operations for 2021. I think we have learned a lot over the last year. We know how to do these types of events safely. They may have a slightly different feel on them, but right now we are doing some sprucing up of the municipal building, and we're going to be looking to have our Memorial Day ceremony in front. With we don't know anything after that ceremony. Potentially, it could go into a parade and could go into the graveside type event what we normally do down at the historical site, the cemetery site. So yes, we are in the middle of the planning process, and we're doing something.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess we'll move forward for the next. So if you understand about the local economy, and really the larger businesses are able to sustain in a greater capacity a pandemic such as what we're currently undergoing. But our local businesses are really, that's our friends and neighbors, and that's their livelihood. And how do you support them during times when they are forced to close? And I think here in Bethel and elsewhere across both Pennsylvania and the nation, they have very unique ways to handle and to still stay in business. So we partnered with a lot of different entities over the course of the year. And one of them was a childcare that we hosted at the community center, because normally they would be at the schools. So we partnered with them for a summer program. We had a lot of children, and it was a very safe program through the summer. It continued on through the fall and continues to this day. Once we kind of move into the summer, we believe both of our organizations will go on our separate ways and we'll run separate programs. But when you partner with that aspect of it, you can see almost like a strategic partnership evolving, because you cannot let these local companies fail. I don't want to say fail, but you had to partner with them to kind of assist through the hard times. And, you know, whether it's promoting on social media or whatever, or running different types of events, that helps them stay afloat. They may not break any numbers as far as profits, but it helps them through the hard times. And that was a lot of our focus for a lot of the year. Whether it's, you know, local campaigns, you know, we highlight businesses on our website, connecting with, you know, as you know, right here, the Peters Township Chamber of Commerce, the Bethel Park, South Park, Castle Shannon Chamber of Commerce. You know, we're advertising, you know, mutually supporting the shop local campaigns. That helps. It absolutely helps in some way, shape, or form. And I think we've seen that one. I mean, if anybody drives through Bethel Park and they're at the 5-way intersection, right down there on Library, South Park, and the entrance to South Park, the actual park, you'll see a little restaurant called Pasta 2. And there is always cars and Pasta 2, but they don't do any in-person dining. It's all takeout. That's that's Bethel Park residents making sure we stay on top of our local businesses and trying to help them through the rough times. And I think you're going to see that one continue all through the next several months until we can kind of emerge out of this pandemic. Are there any questions? We can move forward. Some of the things that are not touched on here on the slide that are really interesting. In 2020, we exceeded all previous years' permits for residential and construction permits in Bethel Park. I mean, not by a little, but by a lot. So people were still doing our construction business, our local craftsmen. They were busy, and they were absolutely busy here in Bethel Park, and we were off the charts as far as numbers. And so that helped us have an idea of how our local economy was doing, and it was okay. We were weathering this storm. You know, I don't think we're going to set any records, but I will tell you, I think we're going to be okay emerging on the other side.
So let me ask you a couple questions, and one about the permits. I'm going to take a stab at it and say you had a somewhat significant increase in permits for pools. Would that be a correct statement?
That would be a very correct statement. As far as how we address that one, I mean, we didn't bring on the extra help, but we refocused our efforts and prioritized differently. We are doing some significant upgrades to our IT infrastructure. It has helped facilitate the process and speed of which these permits get, you know, from inception to completion. And so I think that helped facilitate the sheer volume of the permits here in Bethel. And it will continue to get better over time. We're doing more IT infrastructure upgrades throughout the 2021 that will even facilitate it to be even a shorter time frame. So we're looking for, you know, days, not weeks or months for permit approval. That's the goal. That really is the goal. As a local government entity, what we're trying to do is trying to facilitate local entities, local restaurants, and help their prospering. When the restrictions came on for, you know, so many restaurants, you cannot have this many percentage in inside. We immediately, how can we help this one? Well, outdoor seating permits. Let's go. So all of our restaurants started, or not all of them, but a lot of them started asking for outdoor seating permits. It was peanuts to get that permit out there, but it really all it did is that allowed us to make sure their outdoor seating was safe for the residents. We lost money every single day on that, and we didn't care. It was just more of, let's get out there and keep our residents safe and get our businesses back where they needed to be. And that was a very big benefit for some of our local businesses. We look at our food trucks. How can we make sure that our residents stay safe while keeping the applicable areas notified, you know, such as our police department, our fire company, our EMS, that there is a block party or there's an event in this neighborhood. And really that's all it was, to make sure that it was safe, they handled it correctly, they had the correct permits by the county. And that just helped everyone understand what we were trying to do. So it was fantastic to see this kind of emerge over the many months.
Couple more things. One you just brought up that I took advantage of just because I love it, and that is the Food Truck Tuesdays. That worked out very well. It got me off the hook for dinner. It helped the food truck folks out, and it helped the community out to get out and let somebody else do the cooking. That was a brilliant idea, and I have to thank you for that one. So
I can't take credit for that one. That was our community center director, Kathy Moscato, who came up with that brilliant idea, and she just ran with it. We even had the volunteer fire company bring out one of their large, the bigger trucks with the lighting. We had it was some type of power issue in our parking lot, and all the lights went out. Well, we can fix that one. It wasn't eat by candlelight, but it was eat by fire truck light. And
Yep.
it was a smashing success, and it's something we're going to continue doing.
And then my last comment, so you had to have this one coming back to the second point on your slide, and that's the Bethel Park Partners and the whole business aspect. I got to say, I have never seen this in any other community, what you guys had done, because mostly it's the chambers that do these kinds of, shop local, and then the whole website thing. And I'm going to recommend, if you have a business in Bethel Park and you haven't informed Mr. Christian and his staff, I think you owe it to yourself to do that so you can be listed on the website. That's a permanent thing. But even the shop local thing, because it was brilliant. So that's what I did. On a Saturday I went out and did some shop local. Unfortunately, I didn't win any of the gift cards, but that's okay because I had fun doing it. And again, that was another brilliant idea that come from Bethel Park. And what we always say, right? Shop local, shop early, shop often, and shop Bethel Park. So
we appreciate that one. And again, it all goes back to our residents and our businesses. When you do a contest like that, when you ask, hey, could you possibly donate a couple of gift cards to your establishment that we're going to raffle off for someone to come in, eat at your establishment, and just keep the chain going, and that helps. So it was a win-win for everyone, and we were just, again, blessed to be able to help this one and facilitate it, and we're going to continue doing it. It's only going to get bigger and better from our perspective.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
So if there are no questions for here, we'll just jump forward real quick. So what do we do? What's as we move forward? How do you look back on some of the other accomplishments you've had and it really is not Bethel Park accomplishment, it's our residents. We were trying to make sure we stay connected with our residents and their needs are. So, but how do you do that one? Some of the things that we started here in Bethel Park was you got to have a vision and a mission, and from the mission you kind of move forward with what are our values, what are our initiatives, what are our projects. So these are just a couple of highlights that some of our employees, some of our departments, the accolades they received over the many months, and some of the accomplishments they've had, and they have just grabbed the hypothetical scissors and they started running with them. As you can see right here, the Greater Pittsburgh Community Media Awards, BPTV won 5 of those. And it's that, to me, right there showed the dedication of our volunteer producers and the volunteer interns, because our TV only has 1 full-time person on it, and everybody else is volunteers, everything from do all the shows, and they volunteer their time and efforts and talents. And it was just an amazing accomplishment for them to do that one. Simultaneously in one of our other departments, community services and engineering, being a sustainable community has always been important to me. And so one of our dedicated staff, Director of Engineering, Stacy Graff, really kind of grabbed the bull by the horns on this one and personally helped lead the sustainable team to go forth and identify how we could become a recognized community, and received our accreditation for gold certification this past summer, this past fall, I think it was. As you can see, I mean, it's for design, land use, energy, health and wellness, cooperation, recycling, fiscal controls, and all of our internal management and process operations. So this is a great opportunity. We're looking forward to get our platinum certification. I think there's going to be a lot of new initiatives that we build upon from our old initiatives and our old accomplishments. Just in our engineering department, community services, received multiple grants. This particular one was at Miners Park, and they put a new playground facility in during the pandemic. The entire road program was completed on schedule, under budget. We did 4.6 miles of roads and repaved it, and we're looking for another 4+ miles for 21. Our public works team redid over 100 inlets all during the pandemic. And I can keep going on and on about their accomplishments and what they did for our residents and for our community. I would be here for the next 3 hours talking about it, but I'm just trying to highlight some of the key talking points that I remember for the last year. We unveiled a community quiet space at the community center. It's a 1,900 square foot quiet space, green friendly, recycled water coming from the roof, and it's used in the couple of fountains and water aspects of it. It's a wonderful place. We're going to put some sail covering and some lights out there for our residents to use. And it's really serene. I was out there and I couldn't hear a thing other than the water fountains that were bubbling up. So it was a great opportunity to just kind of relax and have some lunch. So I highly, if you're curious to what it looks like, this spring we'll get the fountains back up and running, and take a look over there. Drive over to the back of the community center. It's sitting right there next to the entrances. As you can see, the Miners Park was fantastic. We're still in the process of upgrading the concession stands and the bathrooms at Miners Park. That playground is fantastic. The neat thing about this particular playground, we had a couple of different vendors come in, and then we narrowed it down to just a couple. We had a community meeting, and then with the residents there, they gave the feedback, and then we all thought, well, truly, who uses a playground? And the kids. So as we developed the process, why not have the kids weigh in on what they want? And it was almost all the kids chose the one that we ended up going with. And so they, in essence, chose the playground that they're now playing on. So it was fantastic. And you get that neighborhood community involvement, and it just helps. They understand what it is that they're invested in, and they're using it a lot. Even during the snow and cold, they want to get out there and start playing on the playgrounds. We did not do a grand opening for this park, but we plan on doing something this summer in concert with Coverdale's 100th anniversary. We're going to do I don't want to say a large one, but we're going to bring in some food trucks. We're going to bring an event. We're going to invite all of the elected officials at the state level who helped us with grants for these parks. We're really looking forward to it and kind of getting back to some semblance of normality. During the year, we had, like I said, we had numerous stormwater projects that were completed, and to help alleviate flooding. If everyone remembers, back in 2018, there was some significant flooding in Bethel, and we actively worked to make sure we are trying to remediate and attack those problems at the source. And so we did that one all during the pandemic. Some of those projects were in Logan Ponds, the industrial park, rain gardens, and underground detention facilities at both Oak Tree and Birch Tree parks. And then this year in 21, we are slated to replace the playgrounds at both Oak Tree and Birch Tree. So that's exciting. Looking forward to that one. So there, like I said, I could keep going with all the accomplishments of the staff, but I would just be here talking ad nauseum, and I don't think you want to do that one. Hear that one. Are there any other questions that we could probably go after for talk about this? How we move forward in 2021.
I just have a comment regarding Cable 7 and Dave Cable. What a gem! one of the things I look at is a little different, and that is if a resident or a business is interested in doing some sort of programming, I'm sure David would love to work with you and facilitate it. You might have your own show like Jack of All Trades, which is a pretty cool show with Mayor Jack. But Dave does such a wonderful job. He's everywhere. He was at the ribbon cutting, obviously, we did for, for the community center quiet space. And he just, if you really owe it to yourself, whether you're actually a Bethel resident, a Bethel business or not, is to check out their the Cable 7 website and see what's on there. And again, if you have an interest, they'll give you the training and go out and do some sort of cool program for, whatever you'd like pertaining to the township. It's just something out there, again, that's available to you. And it's just a wonderful resource that Bethel has.
We're so blessed to have Dave and that entire BPTV volunteer staff kind of lead us into the next century. And what's funny is Dave would always write his monthly updates and reports, and then I think he would always start off with, hey, August was a record month, September was a record month, October is, now we've exceeded all other ones behind, November hit the benchmark we couldn't even never to accomplish again. Well, December just beat it, and just every month it was higher and higher and higher, and so it's record programming. And I don't know how he does it, but he makes it look seamless. It's absolutely amazing.
I have one more question. It sort of maybe fits in here and it maybe not. What can you update us with in respect to what's behind me? And that's the schoolhouse.
Oh, what an amazing asset for Bethel Park and Gem. That historical building right now continues to get upgrades. The second floor there, I know members of the Historical Society were up there redoing the floors, full mass, there's only a couple of them in there at a time, continue to volunteering. It's still undergoing renovations. They just got another grant to kind of help with more renovations within the building. It is not stopping, like nothing is stopping during the pandemic. It just gets a little more sequestered, and everybody kind of keeps coming on different days, so not to exceed the number of people in a specific room. But again, I think you'll see that building become one of our landmark features, even more than it already is. It will continue to be at the forefront in Bethel. I mean, it has. If anybody's ever been to Reginald's Coffee, that's great stuff right there. They were ingenious in their way and how they serve coffee for the better part of the pandemic, right out the windows. And now they have got their establishment set up for social distancing. In you come in and get your coffee. It's a little chilly out right now to be outside, but they had at some point in time in excess of 20 or 30 chairs out there, and people were all very distant and enjoying their coffee with their mask on. It was a great asset to our community, and helped bring us back to some normality in a lot of respects.
Yeah, Reginald is a great member of the chamber, and I did take advantage of that in the fall, where I stopped by and had a drink and sort of hung out there in the yard. With respect to the entire historical society in the building there, again, if you are interested, I would highly recommend hitting the Facebook page and or the website to see how you might want to use it to take advantage of that awesome space, or you may want to help with labor. I know our Rotary Club at the Upper St. Clair Bethel Park Breakfast Club goes in there frequently to do different projects. The one time we were in there tearing out drywall, done some painting. So whether you're a community organization or just an individual, feel free to look at both of those and contact them if you'd like to help. So
that's amazing. Yeah, so blessed with all of these organizations and entities across Bethel Park that really just help. I mean, that's their only desire, is to make Bethel Park a better place. I mentioned early on in the program, I have lived all over the world, all over the United States, and I have never seen a more altruistic sense of community than right here in Bethel Park. This was that was the determining factor for me to, when I applied here. Bethel Park was my number one and only my number one, and everybody else was a distant second through whatever number I had as I'm applying. And it just became apparent this is where we were supposed to be. That Bethel is an amazing community, and I know I'm biased, and that's okay. I'll tell everyone that one. But again, I don't want to live anywhere else because I think this is such an amazing community.
Right, you are, sir.
Yeah. So we will move forward. So we talked about a lot of things in Bethel Park. So what's next on the horizon? As we move forward in 21, we'll continue the excellence in Bethel Park. You know, that's our way. That's how we do things. If you strive for excellence in everything you do, it becomes a habit. It's no longer the thing that you do just once in a while. It just becomes second nature. And I think the employees of Bethel Park Municipality and our residents, they recognize that one, and they do it day in, day out. You know, we tried to stay in line with what our residents are telling us we need to do. We did our complete website refresh. We have a new look, functionality, and it gets better every day. We're using subscription email services, and we're going to take that to the next level. If you want to know what's going on in Bethel, jump on our website, sign up for those notifications, and you can choose which one you want on, or all of them, and then you can manage them as you see fit. Our public safety, for the safety of our residents, is always foremost in our mind, making sure that our residents live in a premier community. And so we, again, deployed greater capability for that public safety aspect of it. And, you know, they keep us safe day in, day out. They are on the front line every day, and we are so grateful for them. We talked about our IT infrastructure that continues to get updated on a daily basis. We are currently in the process of deploying Microsoft Office 365 for our municipal staff. It is a significant upgrade to where we are currently operating, and we'll move forward with that one over time and space. I'm not sure if anybody knew, because it wasn't as hugely promoted as we would have liked it to be, but we completely rebranded our recreation and leisure services department, and they have a new logo. Then they have a new slogan, Bethel Park Recreation, with a slogan of boundless possibilities. Definitely a nice segue into our BP logo tie-in. They are absolutely taking this new look and new slogan to the heights of possibilities. We have a host of winter programming ongoing right now, and you know, we're taking it a little slow to stay in line with the state and the county guidelines, and even the federal guidelines as well, to make sure we're going to keep our residents safe. The school district and the municipality are tied in absolutely with our programming. We'll definitely speak with one voice when we talk about different types of programming for our residents. So we definitely stay in line with exactly where they're at. Our recreation department really kind of looks at programming in a totally new way, and how can we best get at quality of service, levels of service for our residents. You know, looking at potential surveys. How did you like this program? Was it beneficial? You know, what new programs would you like to see? And kind of move forward in that whole holistic view of that programming for our residents. And again, as 21 starts, what do we do? You look at that excellence in every day, day in, day out. I mean, we are in the process of establishing an operational framework for our strategic plan. Any organization that really kind of plots out where you're going for the future really kind of needs that annual or multi-year strategic plan to kind of helps inform and influence both the budget and the residents and our businesses, so we can all kind of stay in line and interconnected. And that's kind of what we're doing right now in Bethel, is we're in the preliminary stages of framing that strategic plan, you know, with a lot of information from different aspects of it. You know, our comprehensive plan, our parks and recreation information that we have ascertained over the years, that will all inform and influence the strategic plan. We have we talked about our spring and summer programming, all following safety guidelines, and it's going to be great. I think we'll see some stuff that you've seen before, but also new programming, and it will be unique and inventive. I think we've got our parks that are all, I'll say not all of them, but a vast majority of them are looking for upgrades in some way, shape, or form. Our staff is absolutely second to none when it looks for some type of funding, grant funding, to help our residents and our local parks get that needed update. You might have seen Millennium Park and Park Avenue upgrades around there. Millennium Park will receive for lack of a better term, a facelift and upgrade bathrooms, new concession stand. We are going to reconfigure an existing multi-purpose field, convert it to a Bronco-sized baseball field with a turf infield, walking path around the entire exterior of the field. And we're looking to break ground in 21 for this renovation to make sure we are good to go for our summer spectacular. We're looking at those fireworks display. That's what I want to do for 21 and really kind of, hit the halfway point for the year. And I think that'd be a great celebration. And we'll come up with some new inventive ways to make sure to keep our residents safe. I think we can do that one. Like I said, we've learned a lot over the year and we know we can do it. There's another one, Park Avenue. We just received some substantial grant funding. And then we're gonna probably end up taking the field, the baseball field offline in Park Avenue. And you probably are asking, what are you going to put there? Well, that's a great question. The upgrades we are looking to do is potentially, nothing solid right now, but potentially open up a splash pad and a new playground in that same area. This will be a new bathroom facility and pavilions. So our residents can come in there and enjoy the summer fun. It won't be open at 21. It's going to be further out. We're still in the design phase right now. While we were doing everything that we're doing now, plus we're looking at upgrades for our sanitary sewer system and our wastewater treatment plant to stay in line with all the emerging technology upgrades and industry standards. You might have seen our social media and our website and some of our Swift Reach messages going out that said, hey, please don't flush wipes. The only thing that breaks down properly is toilet paper. I mean, it's hard to have this conversation, but it's true because it affects both the individual level at their house, but also affects the treatment plant because it clogs up all of the pumps. And then then you have the wastewater treatment plant employees having to rip apart a raw sewage pump. And it means just what I just said it means. It's not a good thing to do. And those pumps never were clogged in years past. But since the pandemic, it has been a widespread nationwide issue. So, throwing away wipes, cleaning wipes, however you want to, whatever the wipe is, should go in the trash can so it doesn't clog your sanitary system and the wastewater treatment plant. Because that can get, for lack of a better term, disgusting. So I would definitely help or encourage everybody to use the garbage and not the toilet for throwing away wipes. We have some new flood alleviation projects on the docket in the southern part of the municipality, and stream restoration projects in the Sawmill Run watershed. And these are just the tip of the iceberg is about the numbers of projects that we got going on from our dedicated municipal staff. We're always looking for opportunities to strengthen our partnerships and look for those opportunities amongst the local community to have those partnerships. So from that aspect of it, I think that's almost everything I've got. If they're pending any other questions.
Sir, I have a couple comments for this slide, especially regarding the Bethel Park notifications. Again, I would highly recommend that you sign up for these notifications. I know I get them as well, and it just keeps you up to date. It's, I mean, this communication team that you have is incredible. Again, it's something unlike I've seen in a lot of places, and it's great because it keeps you up to date. The other thing is if you sign up for the notifications or like the Facebook page or whatever, then hopefully you in the next few days will see a link to this very webinar, so you can pass it along. You can view it again if you have questions, and I think that would be be to your advantage as well. And the other thing I had was with respect to the partnerships. Count us in, sir. We're all in. We're excited to see what's happening in Bethel, and what's going to be happening in Bethel. To include your farmers market. I'm really anxious to see what you have in store there, because I hit that quite often actually. So, and one other thing I do have too is your municipal offices. What's the status with, are they open, closed, are there restrictions?
We have been open since May, and we will continue to be open. As a local government of Bethel Park, we never once closed down. We still operated. We closed the buildings down to the public for, I think it was 45 days, and then it opened up as soon as we possibly could. And since that time, we have not closed the doors. Monday through Friday, we are here to serve our residents. And we just asked, we're trying to do is put employee parking in one area and resident parking in another. So park in that top parking lot, come in through the library entrance, which is plenty of parking up there for both the library, which is open, by the way. It's one of the few libraries in the county that's open for in-person. And they're doing a great job, by the way, of keeping everyone safe while still adhering to all the protocols. So that was a little segue in there for the library. Love them and what they do for our residents. But it's just so amazing to be surrounded by so many professional people and what they want to do to better serve our residents and business community here in Bethel. I've said it several times, it's humbling.
Excellent. I don't see any more questions. So just a comment from me. Of course, my first one is, wow, a lot of activity in the past, a lot planned. So kudos to you, your staff. And again, I'm going to give a shout out to the communications team just for getting out all the information. It's really amazing. Any closing comments for you, sir?
I think the only closing comments we have is, stay tuned as we move forward for these vaccinations. It is probably the #1 priority for folks and the #1 interested topic. And we are moving forward with partnerships. We are moving forward with locations and trying to get this operational in Bethel Park, because we know that is a serious concern for our residents. We listen and we're doing it, and we jump at the opportunity to partner, especially when it comes to serving our residents. And so the second we started getting some interest, and we just started taking phone calls, and we started making phone calls and trying to generate that partnership program. And I think it's paying off. So I think we'll be able to do that one with some of our local pharmacies and running some of these events. Excellent.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Christian. We really appreciate your time. We know you're a busy guy. Like I said, it's just amazing what you guys are doing there, and we really appreciate it. Just a quick note about the chamber. We are open for business. Our office is available to the public by appointment only, though, and best way to get in touch with us is our email, info@ptcoc.org, or to give us a buzz, 724-941-6345. And if you're a business in Bethel Park, you're welcome to give us a call, or actually contact the Bethel Park Chamber as well. Another great organization there to facilitate and be a liaison for all the businesses. So thanks again to Mr. Christian and our sponsor, Washington Financial Bank. And again, thanks to all of you for being with us. Stay well, my friends. Have a great day.
Take care.